Hello foodie friends, and guess what? I've actually been pronouncing the name of this tavern wrong this entire time, which, looking back on my journey through this channel, isn't actually out of place for me. So I actually looked up the pronunciation, and it's not Michie Tavern, even though it is phonetically spelled that way. It's actually pronounced Michie Tavern. So we'll start calling it that from now on. Now, this is actually a really cool little tavern that's located about a half a mile down from Monticello, which is Thomas Jefferson's home in Virginia. Although, I actually found out that that was not the original location of this tavern. So it was actually originally built in the 1770s by William Michie in Albemarle County, which I may be saying that wrong too, but let's hope I'm not. And it was actually originally meant to be his home, but he kept getting so many travelers just knocking on his door wanting a place to stay and some food that by 1784 he went ahead and just got a tavern license and opened up for business. And he actually did really well for himself. Now, by 1927, this tavern had fallen into disrepair, and so a woman named Josephine Henderson decided to buy it and have it moved from that location to where it actually stands today. And by 1928, she'd opened it up as a museum and showcased a lot of her own personal collection of antiques. But now today, it's actually operating as it was originally intended in 1784 as an actual tavern that serves some of the best food you can get in that area. And now, if you are close enough to be able to drive to it, like if you want to take a day trip or whatever, they are actually doing curbside pickup. Now, the inside is also still open. It does have restrictions, of course, just because of what's going on. But if you want to stay extra safe, you can actually pre-order your food and then just have it as takeout, which I think is really awesome, because you would be helping them stay in business, but you would also be keeping yourself safe at the same time. And so you can actually get a taste of history. But if you live too far out for that, let's go ahead and look at this cookbook, and you can learn how to make at least one of the recipes and bring history into your home. So let's go ahead, turn this camera around, and we'll start cooking. And here we are again at our cutting board. We'll go ahead and get our carrots, onions, and celery all ready. And while we're chopping, let's go ahead and look into some of the more ghostly folk tales that surround the Michie Tavern. According to the book, a tale that has been passed down through the generations is about a tired wayfarer that stopped in front of the tavern one night to rest for a while. He heard water and went around the other side of the tavern to see if there was some kind of spring or well that he could drink from. When he found the well, he saw that another traveler had got there before him. This stranger stood there and drank bucketful after bucketful of water. The first traveler remarked about his abnormal thirst, and the other answered that when one had been in hell as long as he'd be thirsty too. But we're not done yet. We're gonna get a second chopping board out. And I decided to go ahead and pre-cut my bacon into little bites before I cook them in the pan. And now you'll have two cutting boards full of delicious things that we're going to go ahead and saute in this hot skillet. Add your bacon first, and go ahead and cook that until done, because we're actually going to use the bacon grease to go ahead and saute the carrot, celery, and onion in it next. And you'll go ahead and saute these vegetables until nice and soft. Another tale has William Michie's father, John, pounding out nails and horseshoes in the dark of the night. Now, of course, no one's ever been able to see him doing this, but it has been claimed by many that they have found these nails and horseshoes strewn all over the property the next morning. And now probably the weirdest tale of all involves another one about John Michie. In this one, instead of pounding out nails and horseshoes, He actually has taken on the form of an old owl that nestles in the trees and watches everything that goes on in his tavern. And now we'll come back to our vegetables and check to see if they're done. And there's just something about the smell of carrot, celery, and onions sauteed in bacon grease. I imagine it's a delicious smell that has filled the kitchens of generations of Americans from pioneer to modern times, from fireplace to stove. And now we're gonna actually get this soup together. In your Dutch oven or soup pot, you're gonna combine your lentils, your ham bone, and your water. Now go ahead and bring all that to a boil, and you're going to add your sauteed vegetables and cook that till it thickens. Next, you'll add your tomatoes and all your seasonings. Go ahead and allow that to simmer for about an hour. And when it's done, remove your ham bone and you're ready to serve. And for one last ghost story before we eat, it's said in modern times that some of the workers has heard the sounds of a party going on in the tavern long after the last guests have left for the day and they're cleaning up to go home. And of course, this could be another tall tale, but I kind of like the thought that maybe William Michie, his friends and guests, are still there and having fun at the end of a long workday. And now get your bowls ready, because this soup is ready to serve and savor on a cold winter's day.
All set.
Okay.
What I can do.
Okay, so we've got it done, and it smells really good.
Yeah, it does.
This is one of those soups that fills your entire house with so many delicious scents that your mouth is just watering the whole time you're cooking.
And I've been smelling it for like an hour now.
Yeah, so. It's been some pretty good torture over here, especially with the vegetables and the bacon grease, and it's just so good. Okay, so while it's hot, let's just go ahead and dig in. Oh, careful, it's really hot. Okay, what do you think?
I think it's like the perfect, like, cozy winter kind of, almost a stew.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, not, but...
Might be good with the sippets, too, that we made with the Williamsburg.
Oh, that
when, you know, with the little
excellent.
Strips of bread. Like, that would be really good.
Yeah, that would be excellent. But, yeah, very, very good. It's got a lot of well-rounded flavor.
Yep. Very rustic.
Yeah, it actually, like, I don't know why, but it tastes like it was cooked on a stove, like a wood fire.
It
almost.
Does, and I
like
think
it has kind of almost like a smoky.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the bacon or something, but it's like it almost has like maybe a camp, like it was cooked over a campfire or in a fireplace, like over an open flame of some
And this
sort.
probably would actually be a good camp soup.
Yeah.
I can see that where, you know, you can, like if you chopped some of your things beforehand, you know, if you're just like camping for an overnight trip or something like that, you could kind of pre-prep a few little things and then get this going. But man, over a fire, I think this would have been like even better.
Oh, yeah.
But like you said, the bacon just kind of lends it that smoky flavor anyway.
Right.
So you're kind of getting the best of both worlds. Now, again, I think this is the perfect tavern kind of meal.
Yeah, tavern, and I would say it lends itself more for like a cold stay-in kind of day.
Yeah, I think
like,
so
it's
too.
not like a warm summer light soup, I don't think.
Yeah, you're not going to want to do this in the summer, which is why I picked February to do this, because you're going to be kind of wanting to crave meals like this. And, you know, on a weekend when you're at home and you're just wanting to like stay inside because it's cold and blustery, having a really good smelling and good tasting pot of soup simmering on the stove really kind of brings you a lot of comfort, which is something that I think kind of seems to go hand in hand with tavern food.
Yeah.
It seems like that's the theme with these cookbooks, is the weary traveler coming off the road, you're getting off the stagecoach, it's cold, you know, you just want to sit by the fire and soak up some really, really good meals.
Yeah, and this is definitely something I think like it's gonna be filling. It's gonna last you a while. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Like it's not like I think the tea or whatever it was we had.
Oh, the beef tea, yeah.
Yeah, the beef tea we had last time was a little bit more on the lighter side, and you would have to have the bread with it to give it like a little bit more like that's something that
just filling power.
Yeah, that would be something that, you know, but if you're really hungry, you know what I mean, and you need something that's going to last you a while,
you want
this
something
is the
thick.
one you want. Yeah, and this will do it.
Yeah, definitely. So now I am going to caveat just a little bit. I did cheat a teensy bit while I was cooking it. When I do make soups, I have a habit of tasting, you know, a little bit of the broth while I'm cooking it. And I had decided that it needed more salt. It has garlic salt in the recipe, but it just didn't seem to be enough. Now, that could be because at the time, a lot of older recipes would have used more salted and cured ham.
Right.
Whereas, you know, bacon and stuff like that just kind of doesn't have... It's high in salt, but it's not the same as, like, you know, ye old hank of ham, you know, hanging in your smokehouse, all salted over for the winter, and, you know, you're shaving chunks off of it. It's not the same thing. So that's why I think that this particular recipe benefited from the addition of just regular table salt. Right.
And that might be something to consider too. Depending on where you get your ham,
yes,
you might wait. Yeah, that's not, you know, don't add it unless you know you need to.
Yeah, if you have access to good old fashioned salt cured ham, you might not be one to add table salt to this. Just saying. But for myself, we didn't at this particular time, and so we just added some salt. Yeah, it's not cheating. It's just preference.
Something to taste. Yeah.
But as for the soup itself, I'm going to give this actually a 4 because I actually have another go-to lentil recipe soup that actually is my particular favorite. Yeah. And I have, like, it's so high on my favorite list. I have a really hard time finding a lentil soup that will actually reach up to that. So maybe on the channel one day I'll do that soup for you, and so you can kind of see, you know, if you want to compare the soups that we've done on the channel, that one, that one's really good. So I'm going to give this like a 4.5 because it's excellent, but that one favorite is still just in the 5 tier for me.
Yeah, honestly, like, I like that one a little bit better too, but I would caveat that with this one tastes like it's a little heartier.
Yeah, I think so too.
Like
yeah.
The other one we have that is excellent. It's good all year round.
It's actually a vegetarian also.
Yeah, it's very good. It's more of an all year round, where this one feels like more of a heartier winter. It feels like winter. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, so while the other one is still probably my favorite, I would say like I wouldn't mind switching it up.
Oh, so, no, definitely not.
You know what I mean?
I'm not going to be upset by making this in lieu of the other one.
Right.
You know, it's just that one just kind of edges a little bit more for me.
Yeah.
But overall, I think if you make this soup, you're not going to be disappointed at home.
No.
You're really going to like this.
There's a lot of people that
lentils, if you love lentils and you don't mind the addition of bacon into your soup, you're really gonna like this one.
And I could see how a lot of people would actually prefer this as to our other one.
Yeah.
Because of the smoky kind of flavor it has.
Yeah,
you know
I can see that too. Yeah.
So, I mean, I think it's a personal preference for both of us, but it's not so much of one that I think would keep anybody else.
Oh, no, it's not gonna stop me from making this again.
Right. Right.
You know, I mean,
I think it's close enough.
Yeah, it's good enough to where I would definitely add this into my regular rotation of soups.
Yeah.
And I would be fine with it.
Yeah.
As for this little cookbook, you can see it's, you know, it's pretty thin. It's basically just something that they've had printed, you know, themselves, which is fine. This particular one that I have was written in 1976, but the history in front of it is actually really interesting. Now, of course, you know, you've got like black and white photographs, which is more indicative of kind of like your smaller published cookbooks from the 70s, 60s and 70s and kind of on into the 80s. So I expected that. So, I wasn't upset by it. But the history is actually really nice. They've gone into quite in depth with it for being such a small little cookbook. It even has like a nice little several paragraphs about all the ghosts that haunt Michie Tavern. So I thought that was really interesting. Now, when we went there a couple of years ago, I didn't actually see one, but that was okay because the food made up for it. I think the food is so good. It's a place I would actually go again.
Oh yeah.
Definitely. And like I said in the intro, we're lucky they got curbside. So if you live nearby, you can still support them by taking their food home if you want to.
Yeah.
So that's cool. As far as the other recipes, they all look good enough to try.
Yeah.
So it's small, but there's several recipes in there. I think that if you really like historical cooking and if you really kind of want to get a feel for a good old-fashioned American tavern, this isn't a bad way to go.
Right.
At all. And you can pick this up on Amazon or eBay. So, and they also have a newer 2000 edition, which is like, I think as far as I could tell, I was kind of thumbing through the digital photographs that they allowed you to, and it seems pretty similar. So it looks a little bigger. They probably added some recipes. If the price goes down, I might pick it up too and just compare both. But for your money, I would pick this one. For 1976, it's a really good, still usable and not outdated cookbook.
Yeah.
So I would, you know what? Man, this is so far 3 for 3.
Yeah.
So, Virginia, the first time in Williamsburg, they hit it out. Philadelphia came through and really went all out and said, no, we're awesome too. And I think the Michie Tavern, even though it's smaller than the other ones we looked at and kind of a little bit more out of the way, they held their own really well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the food is really good, and this little cookbook is cute, and I think something you would really like to add to your historical cooking collection. So, way to go. Virginia has got 2 now.
Yeah.
That they've done awesome with.
Pennsylvania's got one.
Yeah, Pennsylvania. So there you go. Now,
apparently you can't go wrong with a tavern.
I know, that's what I was thinking too. Like any kind of historical tavern, apparently you're just always going to have great food. Now, the one for next week, we got one more tavern we're going to look at. It is my personal favorite. Only because I have very dear childhood memories connected to it. I visited this tavern so many times and ate so much awesome food there. I'll give you a hint. It was preserved by Henry Ford. So we're going to be going all the way up to Michigan, and we're going to be spotlighting a tavern there. And I can't wait because any excuse I get to recreate their food in my kitchen, I am going to take. So stay tuned for that. I'm pretty sure we're going to have 4 for 4 this month.
All right.
So thank you for watching this week. We're going to go ahead and eat our wonderful winter stew on this kind of blustery day outside, and we'll see you next week. Bye. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button and hit the subscribe button for future videos. In the meantime, here are 2 videos you may enjoy. Thanks for watching.